Brett Perigo, tonight's second place finisher. Plenty of fans here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terribles over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with, talk to. I really like them.
How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm talking here. You know who you're talking to? Macho Man! I'm on my way to Monday Night Raw.
How I want to answer the second one.
Your choice.
It's a trap.
I feel like it is. I feel like he's setting up fights in the front stretch. Is what he's trying to do.
Speedway. We've got Devin Gordon with us.
At Keen Motorsports Shop here with Kyle Keen.
Sitting here with Sean Keen. We're going to talk a little bit about racing history.
Yep.
What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. I am Jimmy. Jay-Z is at his daughter's basketball game right now. He will be joining us shortly. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. We got a great show planned for you all tonight. We're just gonna kind of keep it open. We we don't have a guest tonight. We don't have a ton of talk about racing wise, other than what's upcoming. So we got Icebreaker coming up. Hopefully, we'll talk about that. I also got Volusia. We got some news with Dylan Cisney today we'll talk about. We're going to give our breakouts for the 2026 season. And then we want to open it up to you guys. Just any topics you guys want to talk about. You know, you guys always do in the chat as always. But you know, maybe we'll even open it up depending on how time goes here. Maybe we'll even throw the link out in the chat and maybe let you guys call in. We'll see. Let's see how it goes here first. But appreciate everybody tuning in as always tonight. See you guys in the chat already. Matt, EJ, Mandy, Santos, James, Aunt Bay, what's going on? Daniel Lee, Dave, Smeltzer. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in every week. Really appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hope you're all. I know we didn't get. I didn't get too much snow up here. I hope you guys didn't get too much where you are at. I know some of our friends down southeastern PA, Jersey area, they got hit pretty hard. So hopefully you're all just staying warm and hopefully you have power and it's not too bad out there. Troy says I come here. Troy Savage says I come here for the comments. Absolutely. That's why we're here. EJ, what's your Kings Royal week look like? You're doing Fremont or Attica? I plan on doing both right now. I'm going out the weekend before. We're gonna try to do something maybe that weekend before. You know, something on the way as we're driving out, and then I plan on doing Fremont, Attica, and then I did get my camping spot for Kings Royal this week, right as it opened on Friday. So I'm super excited for it. Can't wait. And I'm excited to get to more than just Eldora. I've been always wanting. We talked about it on the show here a lot. I've always wanted to get to Attica. Attica is awesome. I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, like weather doesn't uh, play a factor in there, and I could get to Attica. And then the plan is we'll probably be at Fremont on Monday. The only thing that was kind of holding me back was that it's as much to get into that Fremont race as it is the King's Royal. But I mean, I'm going to be out there, so I mean, I'm 95% chance I'll be there. So hopefully we could link up, BJ. You know what I mean? When we're out there, that'd be awesome. Be awesome to meet you. Santos says you got about 4 to 6 inches down there. Yeah, I only got about an inch or two here. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It kept going back and forth. If you were watching all weekend, the weather just we were going to get anything from 1 to 3 inches to 20 to 30 inches. You know what I mean? So, really, really wild, how it changed that much. Matt Bird, Jimmy and JC, question of the night: how did T2T get created? Turn Two Terribles actually got created by me, Chris, and our buddy Josh Aaron. We met on doing iRacing and stuff, and we would just bullshit about not just dirt racing, but we'd do a lot of NASCAR stuff. And we would kind of split the show in two, in dirt and NASCAR. And then um, Josh kind of wasn't able to be on the show as much. And then Jeremy was around, and he was a great, he kind of came in and guest hosted, and it just kind of took off from there. And we just kind of became what we are now. It's evolved a lot over the years. If you go back and watch our first episodes, Jesus, it was fun. We had a blast, but we've come a long way. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. It started with I'm actually kind of the last technically original member of the podcast left, but it's evolved, and we love what it is now. And um yeah, that's how it started. Let's see a couple more comments here. What color Troy shirt you getting, Jimmy? I don't know. I do like the orange, the neon orange. If you haven't seen Troy Wagman shirts, got posted online. Our buddy Ryan Smith is going to be helping sell those at Icebreaker hopefully this weekend. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what color I want. The blue's nice. The shirt is just really good. It's one of the best shirts Troy has had, I think, in my opinion. And it's I'll be happy with whatever color, to be honest. But maybe the orange. I might try to go after that orange. Brandon Sanders says, hoping for good weather in 2 weeks, traveling south for my first trip to Talladega Short Track at Magnolia. Super pumped up to check those tracks off my bucket list. That's awesome. Talladega Short Tracks, both of those tracks are really, really cool. That'll be a fun time, and I'm sure warmer weather than what we're dealing with right now. So hopefully it stays nice for you and you get to see some racing down there. That should be a great time. Todd Fritz says maybe they race Sunday. So yeah, let's talk about Icebreaker. I'm gonna pull up the weather here on the side. And the weather right now, I mean, obviously they got about 6 inches down there, I think, around Lincoln. Looks like maybe a clipper system tomorrow night, maybe gets another inch of snow, but it's gonna be about 50 and rainy on Wednesday. That'll turn to maybe more snow on Thursday. But then it's gonna be in the 50s almost Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's gonna depend on how much more snow we get, because I think with the rain will make all the snow that we just got go away. It's gonna make everything very wet. I'm confident they would be able to get the track ready, but then you got to think about the infield, you got to think about the parking lot, you got to think about everything else around there, and it's going to be a muddy, wet mess. It's not going to have enough time to dry out. But I mean, if I've seen worse, you know what I mean? I would not be surprised. Saturday looks like the best day. It looks like it's going to be near 55 degrees, our best day in a long time. Probably since like November, our warmest day since probably November. on Saturday, and then Sunday looks a little bit cooler, almost 50, but maybe a little bit cloudier and cooler, especially later in the day. So the low temperature on Sunday is 21 degrees. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm fingers crossed that it's going to happen. I think with it, Wednesday is really going to help. The problem is going to be all the extra moisture this week. I think is going to not. It's not going to help the cause, to be honest. Um, Joey says, "Do you all really enjoy racing with snow on the ground?" Um, yeah, I mean, I think we're all just dying for it now. Like I've been kind of very lukewarm on. I'm like, we're not. There's no way we're racing. There's no shot. Uh, I don't think, and I would not fault them for canceling. And I think it probably does. But more and more I look at this forecast, man, and knowing how diehard PA fans are here, and how people are starting to like it's scheduled this week. Now we're all like chomping at the bit, and it's like, you know what? Maybe we can get this in at least one day. You know what I mean? And if not, you got next weekend, and next weekend looks to be a little bit warmer next week, slightly. I don't know. It's hard to look at weather. It's hard to even look at weather this weekend. It could change to complete rain. Who knows? You know what I mean? So, it's gonna be tough. Brandon says, I talked to Fred last Monday and he said track is still hard, so won't absorb as much water. Hopefully, some winds and higher temps will melt the snow. Just worried about parking in the infield holding us back. And yeah, I agree. I just think, like I said, I think the best thing is I was worried when I saw all the moisture coming Wednesday and Thursday with maybe a little bit more snow, but I don't think it's going to accumulate. Even if you do get snow, it's going to get washed away by the rain. It's going to be above freezing. And then you got Friday. Friday is 50 and sunny. You got all day Friday to help maybe dry a little bit of it out. But I mean, you're talking an entire winter's worth and of moisture to try to dry up, and we know how that goes. But um, I think we won't know till Friday is what I think. Um, yeah, this is I'm leaning towards them canceling because saturated grounds. We'll see, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I just it's going to depend on how much more moisture we get and how nice is Friday. To be honest, Marie said, Joey, I stood in the infield at the Grove one time, then followed Raymer to Hagerstown one year when it snowed there. Grove canceled. Yeah, I mean, I've been there when there's been snow on the ground a little bit. I don't think there will be snow on the ground the way the forecast is looking. I think all this stuff that we just got will go away. If it's not melted away, it's going to get rained away. So, but it's yeah, the saturation. It's going to be so muddy. I had if they can be okay. I mean, like I said, the track is one thing. It's everything else surrounding that. The infield and the parking lot is a whole nother thing. Um, and listen, Murray said, "I never go this early. I just got over being sick." Plus side is you would go to PA Posse TV and buy it if you really don't want to go there. You know, you want to encourage people to go to the track, but if they do have it and you're kind of still iffy in the air, you do got that option and just to support the track. So there's that. Um, Brandon Zirk says 4-wheel drive recommended for turn 3 and 4 parking lot. Yeah, you're gonna need that. That's for sure. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know how much they are willing to tear up their parking lot this early in the season, and have to tow cars out and stuff like that because not everybody has 4-wheel drive. You know what I mean? That are going to go to the track. So it'll be interesting to see. Dave Scott Smeltzer, what cars go to Volusia if they cancel? I would think you'd see Macri. Um, and probably I heard maybe Dietz. Um, I know Brent Marks is going down there. When we had him on the show last week, he's going back down. Looking forward to getting his kind of redemption from the last stint there. Um, I don't know who else though. That would probably be about it from our area, I would imagine. I don't know if TJ Stutz goes back down. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his plans are. But definitely, I think Macri goes either way. I think that's probably in his plans is to be down there anyway. I don't think you would see him for Icebreaker anyway. The only other person I would think that you might see down there would be Chase Deeds. Um, so yeah, that's next weekend. I think they run Saturday and Monday. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure that's how it's been usually. Is they run Saturday and Monday for Bike Week down there at Volusia. Oh, the 69K with Pittman is going to be down there. I forgot about that. That was another part of our news that we were going to talk about. So it's Sunday and Monday that they're running. They're not running Saturday. They're running Sunday and Monday, which makes more sense because they used to do Saturday, be off Sunday, and run Monday. Sunday and Monday next week, March 1st and 2nd, they will be running Volusia. The World of Outlaws will be. And then, like Brandon was saying, then they're going to Talladega Short Track and Magnolia Friday and Saturday, the weekend after. So, World of Outlaws start running every weekend, at least scheduled, after this week. Uh, really, they go there, Alabama and Magnolia, and then they go to uh, Kennedale Speedway in Texas the weekend after that. Oklahoma, Missouri, and then we're kind of really like all the way in the season. So, um, yeah, I'm excited for that Sunday and Monday, and then 69K down there with Darren Pittman. That's going to be interesting. It's good to see them going down, getting some laps in with Darren, and Darren's been good at Volusia, so they're going to be a factor 100%. And that's one car that wasn't there the first time around. So I think you're going to see probably most of the same people, same teams for the most part that were there the first time around. Let's try to get some other. EJ says, "Let's go, Sheldon Hod Shield." Santos says, "Hod Nation." Everybody's in here going after Sheldon Hod Shield here. Yeah, we don't see the Outlaws up here until May for Morgan Cup. And then half the time, Morgan Cup doesn't even happen, or if maybe you get one day. We got lucky last year, I think, but the year before, I think we got both nights rained out. Last year with Summer Nationals, both nights got rained out. Brad Zerk says, ran in the Jay-Z, Devin Borden, Jaden Wolf at Motorama. Good time, yeah. When Jay-Z does join us here, hopefully shortly, see if he said anything here. Not yet. But he he could talk a little bit more about Motorama. I wasn't able to get down. I still never got into Motorama yet. I don't know why. I just haven't gone, and I would love to. It looks awesome. I mean, you have the arena cross, you have go-karts, you have the RC stuff, and then you have everything else surrounding it, like a whole motorsports show. It's not just, it's a little bit of everything there. Awesome. It looks like an awesome time. It goes across the entire building complex there in Harrisburg. Um, just would love to get there one year. Just timing never seems to work out for me, or I have something else going on or something, and I gotta make it a point to get there one year. I did see Jeremy set quick time. I think he set quick time in a sim at Weed Sport in a modified, and then immediately got taken away right after that. Ant Bay says Jimmy Bar Nation. Thank you, Ant. Appreciate that. Marie Beasley says, "I'll be watching the Smart Modified Tour on Saturday. It's on Flow." Where's that at? What is a Smart Modified? That's not a big block, right? I don't know what the Smart Modified Tour is. Troy Savage, I find it crazy it's snowing in PA and you guys still getting ready to race. That's commitment. Absolutely. I mean, the cold isn't going to bother us for the most. The worst part is, um, you know, what you feel more. It's not the fans. It's going to be more of the teams not putting their equipment in danger, or putting it on the line too much, and you don't want to race when it's 20 degrees out. That'll just kill everything. Jeremy's here. What's going on, buddy?
What up, what up, what up?
We're just talking a little bit about Motorama. I was telling a little bit about your quick time in a modified. What else do you see at Motorama?
Lots and lots of cars. I always enjoy that show just because it's such a wide variety of cars. I don't know if I'm like a big car show guy, meaning like, you know, like a Jetta. Like I don't know, maybe when I was younger, maybe or stuff like that. But you know, some of the muscle cars, some of the really custom, you could tell people put, you know, immense amount of work into it. Go karting is crazy. Those cageless carts that they're laying down in around that, like it doesn't seem like racing to me too much, but like I guess I mean it's a big deal. The indoor dirt bikes, you know, stuff is insane. I feel like every year there's like this montage of just crazy wrecks and people getting pissed and injured, and I'm like, place is packed. I mean, it was standing room only at one point for qualifiers. We were there, and it was crazy. So
That's wild.
I like that show. It always definitely feels like, all right, cool. Like we get to the racing extravaganza. Hey, race season. We get to Motorama. It's next weekend,
Yeah.
and every year there's this like sense of you know, whether it's you know, a question of, hey, are we going to get it or not? There's always some sort of optimism, and we'll see what the weather does. This year, just after yesterday, it's like, no reason to get excited this week. So while I am,
I don't know,
my
man.
bar is set very, very low.
Listen, I don't know. More and more I'm looking at the forecast and I'm talking to everybody here. There's a chance. There's a chance that we race. The track's not going to be the problem. It's going to be everything else. It's going to be the infield. It's going to be the parking lot. It's going to be the grounds in general. You know, just with all the moisture.
The best day between now and Saturday is Saturday. That's the problem.
Mhm.
We can't have the best day of the race. We need the best day before that, so we have time. We have like dry enough to get to the day.
Listen, Friday looks 50 degrees and sunny. So maybe it's enough on Friday. I wouldn't want to race on Saturday. It looks a little bit cloudy, colder, and maybe some rain and sleet late. But I don't know. I mean, that's just that.
Listen, well, it's going to be the next weekend, okay?
Yeah.
It's just let's come on. Let's enjoy Coda this weekend in Cup and NASCAR, right? Let's just enjoy Coda and the chaos of that. We'll you know, watch some Volusia, and we'll be ready for the actual Icebreaker in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm gonna keep a little bit of. I've been pessimistic this entire time, and then to like just looking at it the past few hours, I'm like, you know what? There's a chance just because it is gonna be warmer. You're gonna have rain, get all this snow out of there, and you have that nice sunny day on Friday to maybe help. And we've done worse. I mean, we've done it with snow on the ground. The way the weather looks, there won't be any snow left, most likely, for the most part. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
I'll tell you, I traveled that area today, and essentially where Racers Used Parts Warehouse is, west of Lincoln, you can see the grass. It didn't snow.
Mm-hmm.
East of there, 6 inches of snow. Northwest of there, about 8 inches of snow. There's this patch not far from Lincoln that has no snow. You can see the grass, and it's like,
it's crazy.
And it really was that kind of.
So I mean, I got like an inch and a half up here. I barely had to like clean my truck off this morning when I went to work, and the roads were clear. Like I was expecting worse when I woke up.
We definitely got 6 inches of snow, solid. It was definitely some snow here. So just a weird one, just a weird storm all around. And you know, there's still stuff. You know, Thursday they're looking at something. You know, if that's rain, okay, that actually helps melt things. If it's more frozen stuff, that's a problem. So we'll see.
It looks like Thursday looks like when I'm looking at the forecast, it looks like a rain maybe transitions to snow, sleet at night. Depends how quickly that storm system moves out when it's warm.
Yeah,
that's my weather forecast.
All right, what else are we talking about, man?
Let's talk a little bit about Dylan Cisney. That was the big news to come out today. We already talked about Volusia a little bit. Obviously, that's our icebreaker prediction. Let's talk about Dylan Cisney. That was announced today. 30 to 40 races or so in the 27 that he was in last year when he replaced Robbie Kendall. He ended up getting a win at, was it the Fair Opener?
The Fair Opener.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, he's coming back. Now they're running only time trial shows. He's not running for points. Very similar to, sounds like what Robbie was doing before that. So I'm excited to see Dylan Cisney back on the track. Hopefully, my question is, what's Robbie's deal? Because I want to see Robbie out there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think he had a newborn, so that's
Right.
when that happened last year. He had another one, and I think he's got about as many as I got now. So maybe he's just taking a year off. Maybe he's kind of saying, "Hey, I don't know." But we've seen Robbie kind of fall off the radar a little bit, and then he kind of came back a little. So we'll see. I didn't reach out. I'm sure there's people out in our world that know that answer, but I like watching Robbie Kendall. I think he's a good little race car driver. So hopefully we see him back again.
Yeah. But I'm super excited to see Dylan Cisney back out there. He won't be. It doesn't sound like I said, he'll be probably more posse series, time trial races. Not going to do any of the handicap stuff early in the season. No regular shows or anything like that. So you'll see him at big events, Board of Outlaws, High Limit. Just happy to see Dylan Cisney back out there, and you know, that little bit of that we got to see last year. I mean, it you know, especially at Port Royal, but I mean, he's going to run some other tracks, but especially at Port Royal, I think he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to be a factor in some of these races. I'm excited to see him back out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely around Pennsylvania. That's the name everybody talked about all last year. Cisney,
Yep.
Cisney. Where's he at? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? And you know, and like Jeremy Elliott mentioned this morning, you know, if he can get enough funding together for his own deal, maybe he'll run all the Port for a points title kind of thing. But right now he's on the 27 schedule. So which was their plan was time trial shows. So that's kind of rolls along with the theme of what that 27 car has been doing.
Yeah. Brandon Sender says, I look for Cisney to run up front next year at Port Royal and be a points contender. He showed a lot of speed in his short stint with FSR last season. Also love seeing the vintage 27S up front. Yeah, that's an awesome scheme. You know what I mean? Just a classic, you know, just gives you those throwback vibes. Just always and it's the same thing, you know, mostly the same thing every year. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy, and I appreciate that about that scheme. But yeah, I mean, if he can run all of Port, he would be a points contender for sure. I mean, we've seen him up front at Port Royal a lot, and you know, I'm excited to see what happens there, and if they could build off of what they started last year. You know, they already got a win in a very short span of time, and now do you get a whole off season together and really get to pick and choose and target what you want to target? It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it's better for everyone that Cisney's racing and the 27's on track. And I'd have to look back at how many races the 27 cars ran the last couple of years, but I don't think they got to 40.
Right.
So that's also a good thing, you know, for us that's another car out there with a lot of races.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything goes well for that team and we see them more than we don't.
What was some of the other topics? So let's do our breakouts. We talked about doing our breakouts. We're gonna do a local 410 driver, a 358 driver, and then a national driver. And then after that, we want to open it up to you guys. Whatever topics you guys want to talk about, throw them in the chat. Maybe we'll throw the link out if we want to have some of you guys call in. Just to kind of talk about whatever. It doesn't even have to be about racing. It could be about whatever, to be honest. If you guys want to talk about Arc Raiders, I found a Wolfpack blueprint today, man, and I was so jacked up. I've been looking for that for so long. But anyway, let's get back to
What was the other breakout? 410, 358, and a tour?
And a national. Yeah, a national touring guy.
Okay.
What do you want? Do you want to start with 358? I'll let you start with 358. Let's start with 358. 358 driver breakout season.
I mean, this might be low-hanging fruit because we're started to see a little bit of it, but it's could really show up this year is Cameron Merriman.
Yep.
Haven't talked to Cam. I don't know the schedule. I don't know the plan. Maybe he sold everything. I don't know. I haven't seen him. It's been quiet, so maybe I need to get a hold of him. But he would be my choice for breakout with, you know, the way he ended his season, the way 358 class is shaping up, and it's a great division. But I'd go Cam Merriman.
Yeah, he was definitely one on the list. I'm gonna say two drivers here. I'm gonna go with Seshno. I think he's been showing some really good potential there. We'll see what happens with this year going, but I think there's a lot of potential there. Getting his feet under him He's shown a lot of speed at times, and if he could find some consistency, he will be fighting for some wins. And another one is, I don't know if it's necessarily a breakout to per se, but I think maybe a better season would be Wyatt Hinkle. I think Wyatt Hinkle, he's shown a lot of speed, and I think he's a guy that could win multiple races this year, to be honest. Um, you know, uh, he's got that Vertical for Life sponsorship now. Shout out Vertical for Life. But yeah, I think, like I said, I don't know if it's necessarily a breakout, but I think he's a guy that we'll see victory lane maybe even multiple times this year, especially at Lincoln.
Yeah, I definitely. I talked to him this weekend, and Wyatt is Wyatt, and he's excited for it. He thinks he has the things in place to do it, especially at Lincoln. That's kind of home base for them, and Baps. He's really likes running there. So yeah, I can't disagree with you there at all.
All right, local 410 driver. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going Logan Rumsey. We've seen it. Last year was, I think, an awesome rookie campaign for him. It wasn't even really like a full season, and then we know this year he's still going to be bouncing back and forth into some 358 stuff and here and there. But man, making the National Open and the whole story of him making the National Open, being like, all right, you could go buy a new tire now. like just the kind of, and that's what he had, just, man, he's shown so much speed. And I just think the sky's the limit for him. He's gonna. I would not be surprised to see him in victory lane this year. But if it doesn't, I just think you're gonna see him up front more and more. And as this kid gets more laps in a 410, he's just gonna be more and more of a factor.
I think Logan Rumsey would be at the top of about everybody's list here. If you follow this and look around, but I'm going a little different route just because you did take that, and it's Cam Smith.
Yep.
It's weird to be like, man, like it's time, right? Because he's so young, but he's got that time under his belt. He has been in victory lane. And this is also going to sound a little bit crazy because the other person I have in my head has been to victory lane is Cody Hartlaub. I think that, he went to time trial, basically all time trial shows last year. To my knowledge, it'll be the same, or it'll be the Posse Series, which will be time trials. That's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to deal with handicapping or pill drawing and all that for the most part. But I think either, Cam Smith and Cody Hartlaub. But really, I mean, think about what we just said. Logan Rumsey, Cam Smith, Cody Hartlaub.
Yep.
Troy Wagaman's not an old guy. Chase Dietz is not an old guy. The kind of
but they're
younger,
they're established.
They've champions. But I'm just saying, like the state of PA in our 410s is pretty healthy, really, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But it's almost weird to say Cam Smith breakout, but because we've seen him win.
Yeah.
But is it the five? Is it 5?
Like
wins,
another step up from what he's already been doing would be big.
Next step.
I think another guy to watch would be Buddy Schwiebens, who we had on, or did I say his name wrong again? Is it Schwiebens?
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
Buddy Schwiebens, sorry. Who we had on a couple weeks ago. He's another guy who, like I said, he had like ton of talent. He just has a ton of talent, and he's gonna have some ups and downs. Trying to do a full season, 2 different cars. Just getting laps underneath them for in a 410. He's shown a lot of raw talent. He's gonna, but he's a guy that I see a season for Buddy like Logan had last year, where maybe next year we're really like, yo, Buddy he's that dude. And we're just gonna say we saw it first, so whatever. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
National guys. You want to go first? You can go first.
I can. It'd be your turn to go first. So
I just went first last time, but you know what? I already have my guy. I don't want you to take him.
All right.
I'm gonna go Garrett Williamson.
Bitch. That's why we're the second one down, and it's okay. It's okay.
I've been super impressed with what he's been doing, and we saw a little bit of Volusia. Volusia doesn't tell you a ton. It's so early in the year, but I think a second year on the Outlaw Tour, I would not be surprised if he won 2, 3 races this year. I would not be shocked, especially if when they go back to Knoxville or really anywhere. I mean, he's been just about anywhere they go. He has a good baseline speed, and um, I did not expect it from him, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. When he came on the tour last year, I'm like he's gonna be a guy that maybe fizzles out. I was totally wrong, and I'm gonna go the complete opposite direction and think he's the breakout this year on the national scale.
And I have, I mean, I think there's a few for me, and as much as it pains me for the one, I'm gonna say it because I believed in the guy last year, and it just didn't pan out. But we'll see. But my one is with Todd Fritz here, Cy Lynch. And mine two is Cole Macedo right there. They're back to back on our chat. So I was a Cole Macedo guy last year, thinking that was a rookie title that he couldn't lose. And it just never got, we just didn't see enough or consistency or that speed we thought we were going to see in the flashes we saw the year before in the rides he had. But really, he was my 1B. 1A, and this is Cy Lynch. And Cy Lynch in the second half of the year really, really, really stepped up. And they got a lot of speed. They're going to have a new crew chief, right? We got Brent Marks, crew chief. Heath Moyle.
Yeah,
Heath, Jesus. It was gone. I knew there was a TH there somewhere. Heath is over with Cy. There's experience there. He's been around a lot of winning race cars. He knows, kind of knows what he's doing. So, with the momentum that Cy had going already last season to end the season, I look for him to be big breakout in high limit this year.
Yeah, I could see those two. Another guy, and he was my guy last year that I put a lot of stock into my bold predictions. But I think I don't know if he's necessarily. I mean, I kind of put him and Emerson Axum maybe kind of in the same bucket. Would be Thies and Persley. I think these are two young guys, both those guys, Axum and Persley, where we're looking like this is young talent that is going to be here a long time. Both like wingless guys coming in the wing side. It's just a matter of time until they really figure it out. And I think Dason's in such a good situation where he could really capitalize on it. And we saw him win in the 13 last year and really start to find his groove the last half of the season, last quarter of the season or so. And I really think he's going to be a guy that could win a couple races this year in that 9. And I don't know if he's going to contend for a title or anything, but he seemed like an obvious choice to me to pick personally, but he was my backup, and I think he definitely needs to be a guy to keep an eye on. Let's get to some of yours. Appreciate everybody in here with their participation as always. Santos went with me and him. Pretty much, we agreed on 2 out of 3. He went local 410 Logan Rumsey, 358 Logan Spar, and National Garrett Williamson. I think those are all 3 great picks. Dalton Minovich, Emerson Axum, once the season gets going, I think he'll have a pretty good year. Mandy says Rumsey or Latimus for the 410, and then 358 would be Cam Merriman. And then her national breakout is Emerson Axum. All good picks. Here's a good one. Dave Scott Smeltzer, JJ Loss, just unveiled that scheme with the Trone 39. If you haven't heard, I know John Trone's not doing great health-wise, so keep him in your thoughts and everything. Hopefully everything works out well there. But JJ Loss in that Trone 39, he's another kid that has a lot of really good raw talent. That this is a good pick, to be honest. This is somebody that is not being talked about enough, and definitely a guy you got to keep an eye on. I agree.
I think there were flashes last year. There were flashes in his own stuff, and want to see more. Want to see the consistency. Want to see more of those flashes, right? And I think the ability's there. I think JJ, it's a year of growth. Hopefully, he gets a whole year under his belt. I hope it all goes well with that team, and he gets the opportunity for the seat time, I just think it would be a year of growth versus maybe breakout. If that ends up in a win, that ends up in a win. Yes, but I think a year of growth with a lot of solid top fives, competing for wins in the top 10 consistently. I hope nothing but the best for that team and for John and JJ.
Brandon Zirk, Aaron Bollinger, breakout 410 driver. I hope so.
It's all there. He has
It's
the
all
ability.
there.
We've seen him win. I'm here for it.
Brandon Sanders, 358 Cameron Merriman. He had some speed last year and picked up a win at Williams Grove. 410 Jude Siegel has a ton of talent. This is a good one. Has a ton of talent and got some experience under his belt last year. He'll be an eye opener at Lincoln to a lot of people. National Emerson Axum, look good evolution. I think he'll be fast night in and night out. Some obvious growing pains, but has a lot of potential, lots of talent, and anything he races. Thinks he gets a win or two on tour this year. That would be big. I think it's going to be hard for Axum. I think he has the speed. I just think he's going to need a season. I think because he done like the true outlaw stuff, but he's kind of bounced around. I think he's going to need a season really, but I would not be surprised either. He has a ton of talent, and if he's in the right situation, could time well, he will be a factor.
This Emerson Axum is perplexing to me because I feel like he was like that next big name. Like he was the guy, and he still is on that radar for some people that way. But like he jumps in that 18 and he just disappeared. So was it the 18? Right? That's Gio. He filled in for Gio when Gio left the 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Say that again. I'm sorry.
At the end of last season, when
Gio he ran the 18. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Look at the results.
Yeah. But
go look at the results. But hear me out.
That's not like that 18 was like
I know
fire either.
And it was shitty at Volusia again, or at Volusia last weekend. But either way, I hope whatever magic in the 27 and the group and the people and everything, and it gets back to what we saw and what we all thought 2 years ago or beginning of last year, the end of the year before, is what we see moving forward. And Emerson Axum is the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit to where that could go. I hope they find that magic, that team that in him.
Before he went to that 18, he was faster in his own equipment. Going to go out on the road now with his own equipment, maybe a little more comfortable. So yeah, it's possible. I mean, just the whole him and 18 deal didn't really link up, but yeah, I agree. He's kind of a perplexing one, but if he is going to do it, he's going to do it in his own equipment, and I think that's probably better off for him right now. Ant Bay says 410 would be Buddy, and 358 will be Tyler Ulrich.
Tyler Ulrich has been that guy for me for 2 years now. He had some motor stuff to start last year, got out late. And he got a win. He did get a win. But I root for that guy. I think he has all the talent in the world. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Tyler Ulrich ends up in a victory lane multiple times this year. It would not surprise me in the least. And I would be the first one to say, yeah, I would. I'm not saying like I'd predict it, but I would not be like, oh my God, this guy. It would be completely like, yeah, this makes sense. It was coming.
Todd Furtz says Cy Lynch. Brennan Zirk said Cole Macedo. Again, we talked about those two guys. Daniel Lee, my top two locals, Logan Rumsey and Cameron Smith. 358, Jaden Wolf and Cameron Merriman. And National, Emerson Axum. And then he puts Donnie Schatz, more of a resurgence in consistency and wins from previous years. If Volusia, which I just said before, Volusia isn't like the best bar to go base the entire season off of, but they got a time trial, man. He's got to figure out time trials somehow. So if they could figure that out, yeah, he's going to win a bunch. He could pass cars.
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know. I don't know if he could figure out time trials right now. Not against the other guys on the tour, at least.
I'm almost to the point where if he starts 9th, he finishes 6th. I don't know. Does he have speed of top 3? Does he have it anymore with the top 3 in the business? When have we seen it last? Yeah, he passed the most cars in the Outlaw Tour last year. What he just did at Volusia 2 weeks ago is not anything
Really
different than we saw last year.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
really not any different. Yeah, it was cool, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's back." It's what he did last year. Didn't qualify and passed a ton of cars.
Yeah.
But what if he starts 10th? Is he going to drive to the win? Not many guys do that at the top of the sport.
Yeah.
You got to make
but-
the dashes.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to make the dashes, not just time trial. You got to go make the dash, and then the dash when he's against Macedo and Gravel and Schuhart and all these other cats. Is he going to go past him and beat him and win?
I think if he can get himself
we got to
into
get
the
back.
dash,
We got to see it.
yeah,
We
I
gotta
think,
see it.
and that's why I'm saying, like, if he can figure out time trials and get himself up front earlier, yeah, he gets himself into a dash, he is a factor.
Yeah.
I
just think everybody sees these 24th to 5th and goes, "Oh my God, if he started 10th, he'd lap the field." Let's chill. Because like there's a little difference in passing cars that are 18th and passing cars that are second.
I agree.
Like I'm with you. I agree with you completely. He has to get the time trials figured out to have that chance for us to all for me to be proven wrong. And I hope he does. But I don't know.
And we'll see, that was all, fresh equipment and everything starting off Volusia. Let's see what happens midseason. But he's a veteran, man. I mean, he knows how to do it. He can pass the cars, like we said. He's just got to start up front and give himself a shot. If he could do it more, I think he can win a couple more. I don't think he's going to have this 7 or 8 win season. Yeah, 10 win season. 4, I think, would be a good season. Is about where I see him. 3 or 4.
And let's be honest too. This Volusia surface falls right in his wheelhouse now. This new surface,
yeah,
slow, slick, wide. It fits. If it hopefully good results this coming weekend. It may be a little bit of a precursor if we can get that hot summer slow slick through the middle racetrack. Maybe we do see Don in victory lane some more. But again, gotta get the early night stuff.
I think it's also more of a testament to just how good David Gravel, Buddy Kofoid, Carson Macedo, some of these other guys are. Logan Schuhart. Some of the rest of the tour it's really tough. And it's hard. It's hard to pass those guys. That's for sure. Santos says very excited to see what Gio does with Prutzi this year. Gio. I don't know if he's a breakout guy. I think it's going to take them a little bit of time to get it going. I'm excited to see that car on the track though with Chili sponsorship and everything. So perfect. You couldn't have more of a perfect sponsorship for his nickname and everything. But I think he is a guy that could win 5 or 6 races for sure.
I believe.
I think that's about his ceiling though, to be honest.
I believe in Eric Prutzman. We'll go from there. We'll see. New team, new put together, new deal. All the equipment will be there. I believe in Eric Prutzman for sure.
Tanner Thorson says Todd Fritz. This was another one of my names. I was going to my top 3 guys were Pursley, who was Garrett Williamson, and Tanner Thorson. I think we saw Thorson was another one towards the end of the season last year, right there with Pursley, where they were kind of really showing some life, showing some winning speed. I think Thorson really found a lot of consistency last year, and if he can carry that on this year, yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch. And
Thorson's one of those. Go ahead. No, finish up.
I was gonna say because Ampe said Tanner Holmes here once he gets rid of that black cloud, but I think Tanner Thorson will be the better Tanner on the tour.
I don't want to be that guy about Tanner Holmes, but I'm just not there yet. Believe it. And I know like he has more talent in his, one finger than I do in my whole body when it comes to sprint car driver, but I'm not bought yet. I'm not bought in on the Tanner Holmes fandom. Maybe I like the guy. I don't dislike him, but I haven't seen much that tells me like this guy's ready for this. So hope he gets a whole year. Hope he gets a chance. Yeah. Really do. I really do hope that. But
he just needs the laps. Man. I don't expect him to compete for any wins this season. I think a top 10 would be a good night for him. You know what I mean? If he can rack up like 30 or so top 10s, that would be a great season for him. First time out on the road.
That might get him another year. I don't know though. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know that 13 car in the financials and how that works, but I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah.
An uber talent like Dason Pursley didn't exactly like win 20 races in that car, and we all believe in Dason Pursley. Lots of quick times, lots of speed. He didn't go win 20 races in that car. I'm not sure I put Tanner Holmes in the same category of raw, unfounded talent as Dason Pursley.
Right.
So I am I'm holding judgment until I see it. But Tanner Thorson is absolutely someone I would buy stock in
Mm-hmm.
if they figure out the big track stuff. Right. I think that's the Achilles heel a little bit is the big track stuff at times. I think the short track stuff, the flat tracks, the slick stuff, that car goes, and we all know it. We've seen it. Lernerville, Path Valley, right? Those they're good. The rest of it, got to put it all together for Thorson to be a contender for the championship.
Santa says, not to be a negative Nancy, but if JJ Loss can make it the full year, I agree. But I want to see him make it the whole year. I mean, obviously, that's always kind of the case with we've seen that a lot with the 39 where people come in and out. So we'll see. For sure. Jaden Bingham and Cletus. Jaden Bingham says, I have the worst takes in the past 2 years because I don't believe in Cletus McFarland. That's a totally different subject. Shout out to Jaden. What's going on, man? Troy Savage in the 358. I just like Tyler Rutherford to have a good season. 410 Cam Smith to push on and get a couple more wins. But I also want to see Wild Bill get a win. I like all three of those. I think Tyler Rutherford has some talent if they can keep it on track and everything.
So
Cam Smith,
is Tyler Rutherford? Is he Tyler Rutherford back full time 358 racer?
I don't know if he's back full time, but I do know that they're going to be going racing. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he was projecting to the 410s to be a 410 guy and dabble in a 358.
I
don't know. Yeah, that was the plan. So I might have to reach out to Tyler. Maybe somebody else knows.
100% agree on the Wild Bill.
Bill's going to get a win this year.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
He's going to win Icebreaker. Let's go.
I think he's going to win. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a perfect day. He's going to draw the one, win his heat, and lead every lap.
LFG Racing. Don't slip on Matt Campbell this year, LFG. Let's go.
They're not biased, are they?
No, but I feel like we've talked a lot about Matt Campbell and Aaron Bollinger in the past, and we know those are kind of, we talked a lot this offseason about, like we said, the guys that we just talked about, Logan Rumsey, Cam Smith. This is the way we spoke, and we still think of Matt Campbell and Aaron Bollinger for sure. Just being in the right situation. They're both in new situations that could really work out for them, and they're capable of winning multiple races a year, especially at Lincoln and and even Williams Grove. I'd love to see those guys win there too. When given the opportunity. So those are two guys that we're definitely going to keep an eye on. Maybe aren't getting talked about enough because we are talking about some of these other younger drivers, but those are two names that you got to keep an eye on.
Well, there's a third to that, and I think they're all in the same boat. Add Tyler Rawson to that conversation.
Oh yeah,
Matt Campbell, Aaron Bollinger, and Tyler Ross. Maybe Cam Smith on the fringe of those four. That they're the guys that are like, we're top 5 guys, and now we need to go sprinkle in the wins, 3, 4, 5 wins somehow, right? I mean, it would be great at Lincoln this year if not a single person had more than 5 wins, but multiple people had more than 3. And that would be the best version of Lincoln Speedway that we could possibly ask for. And again, we're fans of a lot of these guys, and we like them. I don't want to take any wins from our buddy Troy, but I think as fans, we would show up and go, it's anybody's night of 5 or 6 guys. I think we would all really like that. And I think absolutely everybody could be in that kind of position to do that. That would be cool.
Ampe, Donnie's got to get aggressive to run with these kids nowadays. The old finesse way will work, but not night in and night out like in the past. Yeah, I think that has been Donnie's. I think Donnie's downfall more than anything has been time trials. think he's showing that he could pass, but yeah, he's going to have to be more aggressive if he's going to compete with. If he does time better and he is up front, he is going to have to be a little more aggressive to run with Gravel and Buddy and Macedo. Those are your big three in that series, and yeah, he will need to in order to win races straight up against those guys for sure. He also says Jay-Z did a 0-0. Breaking news.
Can't fit in it, but okay.
Going back to, I think, talking about the 13, James Magby says, look at Justin Peck. He struggled in that car as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a good national car to go, it can win a race or two. I mean, Peck did, Pursley did, but, it's not a car that's up front every night. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good situation for Holmes to be in because he's going to get a lot of knowledge and a lot of laps, hopefully, in that car, and the experience, I think, is the most important thing for him right now. Bill will win at Clinton County. He always a factor there for sure.
That would be one of my two predicted wins. Is one of them there? Yeah, for sure.
Tyler Murray, I think Chase Gutshaw will be one to watch in the 358 division. I agree.
Yeah, and I feel bad. Like, Chase was on my mind when I read this, and it's kind of like one of them deals where, like, you're going to have a weird split this year with cars that run at just Williams Grove and cars that just run at Lincoln. I believe there's not going to be a ton that do both this year, the way people's schedules are kind of flipping out, or coming out, and then BAP's adding a lot of races in. I'm almost looking at this division as a whole and going, okay, who are those guys? And Chase absolutely has everything there to do it. They need some good luck, number one, and number two, some things fall their way, and God, they need to pill draw a little bit better. Holy crap, these poor guys. Yeah, and then they go to handicapping at the Grove, and he drives his ass off for all those weeks just to then get handicapped twice. It's tough life in that division at Williams Grove.
Here's another driver, both Brandon Zirk and Jaden Bingaman brings him up. Eli Tuckey. Jaden says Eli Tuckey is his 358 guy. 410 local would be Billy Dietrich. He might be a little biased. Wink, wink. And then national driver would be Axum. But Eli Tuckey, we had him on, and we do think the world of him. We do think that he has a lot of potential.
Absolutely in the game in 2026 to be a threat to win his first race. 100%, absolutely there. We've talked to him. We're fans. I've watched him run. Man, the kid gets it. Absolutely in the running to get his first win this year.
Troy Savage says, if anyone is going to get multiple wins on the season, we need Lance Deweese to get the 129 at Port. I agree. I want to see him get that record. I really do. I really, really do. That would be awesome. And hopefully this whole deal with him and the Eichelberger 8 works out, because he could be a guy that could rip off a bunch there at Port this year and get really close.
Jimmy, I think I have this right. Troy is our Australian friend, right? He's from Australia. I think it's
New Zealand.
New Zealand. So he's coffee and T2T. Is that what we got going on there?
I think so.
Or is he on Smoko?
Marie Beasley, the Rudine and the 13 car are just not the same league as Gravel, Buddy, and Carson. They need to step up the whole season. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're a national level series car, but they are definitely a step down from some of these top contenders. They're the talent's there. I think in both of those cars. You talk about Justin Peck can drive anything. And I think Tanner Holmes has a lot of talent. You know what I mean? And ironically enough, Justin Peck has drove both of these cars and has been able to win in both of them. But they're not a car that I think we've all kind of agreed there. To be at the top of a national series, you got to be so consistent every night. And those, maybe those programs just quite aren't there. But they're close. They're not off. They're not far off. Ampe, everyone's sleeping on Mark Smith in the Keen 17 at Port Royal this year too.
No, right here. You can't see this writing, but right here, first wins. And I talked to Jimmy Allfair about this. First wins, my prediction for people to get their first win. Now, it won't be Mark's first win, but let's think about it. When's the last time Mark Smith has a 410 win at one of our big tracks? It's been a minute. I have Jake Karkland, Logan Rumsey, and Mark Smith getting wins in Central PA this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not their first wins, but let's think about that. And Mark Smith, in limited time in that seat, has brought that team a long way, including a podium at Port Royal last year. So, and I'm not at all. You know me. I'm not sleeping on that at all. And things go right, this could absolutely be a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I that whole combination there, I love it. And seeing Mark in there for a whole season, I think, yeah, I would not be surprised to see that 17 in victory lane. Mandy says Lance is not allowed to retire until he breaks the record. Troy says it's 3:15 p.m. and don't tell my boss, but I sat down when the show started. Appreciate you.
We won't tell him.
We won't tell him. We appreciate you, man. Jacob says, I want to see Kevin Swindell work on the 27 Axum car. I assume that wouldn't happen because, but slap Swindell speed labs on it. But I wouldn't think Kevin would want to travel that much. But if you could, it would make sense. That could solve a crew chief issue and not having a sprint car. Yeah, I mean, I think Kevin Swindell, they had that 39 speed lab car out there, and it hasn't been out there in a while. And obviously, they work well together. It makes sense to put that connection there. I just don't know what Kevin's day to day is at this point. I don't think anybody really does. You know what I mean?
He's
but
in
that,
the lab. He's in the lab, bro, making micro speed,
yeah, yeah, true.
midget speed.
I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
But there are a couple. We'll get to a couple topics that some people threw in there that we'll talk about real quick. Be right back.
Yeah. So, Santos, anyone have any disappointments? Again, I want to let me preface this because I'm going to talk about this. Let's talk about it. When we say this, it's always going to sound like we're wishing people the worst, but I don't want to be that way and talk negatively about any one driver or team. I don't know, but you guys can. What's your comments? What do you have on your list of like, hey, underachievers for the year? You don't like the combo, whatever the case may be. And one that jumps out to me is Sheldon. I want Sheldon to succeed. I think everybody is better when Sheldon is doing well because the sport thrives on drivers like Sheldon Hodenshield. But I have zero reasons to believe that 18 car is going to go to the level that it thinks it does, or I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but we have yet to see it on a consistent basis in Victory Lane or elsewhere. So if we're talking disappointments, it's the 18 car. I don't want that to be, but it's got to prove it to me. Somebody's got to show me something else. Otherwise,
Predicting
I think
disappointments here.
Yeah, and not trying to be like disparaging. Like I don't like that. So Sheldon had moments in the 17, and we all knew the strengths and weaknesses there. It was probably the easiest to like define, right, of what Sheldon was in that 17, boom or bust. But when we all talk about the 18 car and we take Sheldon and put it with the 18, did anybody go, man, that is a deadly combo?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has, and I hope it changes. I hope that they get it going in the right direction. It's better that way. But I mean, you go back and look at the course of time through multiple drivers and years and seasons. I don't know. I just got to see it. What about the breakout with Basin to 17 with KP on the wrenches? Listen, I like KP. I do. I'm not a Baston believer. I'm just not. I kind of ride the train of being a non-believer there.
Ryan Smith is going to be so upset when he listens to us tomorrow.
I know, and it's okay. We all have that. I was surprised Evolution when they won the first night out. I was like, okay, all right, half mile, new team, new Baston, I guess. But let's do it over a course of time again and show it. I knew when Baston got out of that the Jason Myers deal, and he signed on with those other rides for just the West Coast. I told everybody I knew and said he's going to do pretty good out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's his thing, short tracks. It's always been his strength. It even was when he was just absolutely terrible in CJB and was struggling into 14. When we went to a short track, there's Baston. He starts showing up. So he goes out on the West Coast, has a great West Coast swing, gets this opportunity. This is the opportunity. This feels like the end of the line of like, hey, I thought it already was. To be honest, I thought it already was. And it's not the end of the line. He's not an old guy. But for those premier opportunities and rides, I don't know. I'd like to believe, but I haven't seen anything that tells me over the course of a season on a tour that Baston's that dude yet. And I hope he is. Again, I
won the
don't
first night at
dislike any of these
Volusia.
people. I know, right? I know. And I was absolutely be like, hey, I was wrong. It's a half mile. It's fast. Wow. Great job. We'll see. We all talk about Volusia doesn't mean anything in a sense. Like it's not a precursor or a prediction of what your rest of your year is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it is for them. I do. I think that's cool. But yeah, Sheldon and Baston for me, the two popped up from a touring side.
I agree. I'm with you on both of those. With Baston, I'm not a huge Baston believer either. I'm with you. I was shocked when he won at Volusia. And, I don't know if I think with both of them, I don't know if the consistency is there. We'll see. I think that's both, especially Sheldon. We know Sheldon's either going to win by lapping the field or wreck out. and that's just how Sheldon is. And that's why we love him. It's the other nights where he's not up front. He doesn't have up front speed and he's maybe like back half of the top 10 where you just kind of forget about him. And I'm hoping that, for him to really be maybe like a title contender for Sheldon, it would be to, turn those, 10th to 15th place finishes into, you got to get closer, probably to the top 5. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Baston, I think he's going to be a lot like what Sheldon was in that 17. He might win a couple. He might win 3 or 4. But you're going to have times where he's probably barely coming out of the B main, just as often, if not more often, you know what I mean? And I hope I'm wrong. I want to see more contenders there. I want to see more of a fight instead of talking just about really kind of the big 3, with the World of Outlaws, especially. But, and that tour is just so tough. It's going to be tough for those guys. But, I think that's what both of those teams lack are just, or both of those drivers, maybe even, we'll see what happens with the new teams. But I think separately, both the teams and the drivers had shown a lack of consistency, and now you just kind of take inconsistent drivers and put them in there. I don't see where this newfound consistency comes from. That's what they have to prove to me.
So my other one here is going to be a little bit of a hot take for some, and please, when I say this, it's not don't take it personal. It's not your best friend. These guys aren't your friends.
Nah, yell at them. Yell at them. Make sure you are in the comments yelling at Jay-Z about this one.
Jamie, you might even have a little bit of a problem with this.
Go ahead.
And it's Rico.
Ooh.
So hear me out. We all know Rico's talent. We all know. He's done all that stuff on his own deal, controlling the program, been the centerpiece of it all, obviously with great people around him. He still has great people around him. But this is a shakeup. This was a meshing, emerging, the new shop, new location, a lot of new things around. And when I say this, it's hard to repeat a year you just had, whether you change anything or not. It's hard to repeat it. It's hard to come back and be exactly the same or better. It's hard to improve on what you just did. I can see Gravel repeating what he did last year because nothing changed. There's a lot of things pointing toward I can do this again. For Rico, does this change / shake up while financially help Rico and his program and himself with the merging and the financial side of things and ownership and charters and whatever? Does this kind of take them a little bit of time to get all this new shit kind of worked out? I don't know. I'm just half my height. He's a quarter of your height, brother. Shit, half my height. He's an eighth of your height.
Matt
Barely up
said
to your
Jesse, why
ankles.
you got to pick on a guy that's half your height? Come on now.
And when I say that, it's not even. I set the over under, and I picked an over under on it, and I said great things about him. So I do believe in Rico Abreu, but I have. It's just like this thing in the back of my mind that's going to go. I'm going to get to midseason and say I knew it, but if I don't say it out loud, nobody's going to believe me when I felt this way in February. And I'm happy to be wrong again. I'm okay with that because nobody knows what the future holds. But I just have this weird like inkling in the back of my mind with the change in this program. Does it take a little bit of time to get back to where he hasn't fallen off because he hasn't even ran a race yet?
Right.
It shouldn't. It really
shouldn't because it's a lot of the same for him. You know what I mean? Just more resources when you think about it. You know what I mean? Like the crew chief's not changing or anything like that. And they had a great the most wins last year. I mean, and I've been high on him on my predictions. And if he doesn't take another step up, which it's crazy to think of taking another step up. Maybe I have loftier expectations that I should for him, but if he doesn't take another step up this year and really compete and go win a Knoxville Nationals, I don't know when that chance ever is. You know what I mean? I don't know how much more he can have in his stable at his back with the resources that he has to go and make this happen. I don't know how much better he could ever do in any point in his career. So if it isn't at least what it was, close to what it was last year, it's a failure. You know what I mean? And so I'm kind of with you. Like he could be a disappointment because even if he only gets sounds sick. If he only goes and gets 11, 12 wins and
it's not a
finishes
disappointment, but it's just off of last year.
Based off of last year and having everything that he does have now, like he should be the number one guy in the country, is what it is. Like that's the expectation I have of him. He was right there last year. I mean, I don't. We had this argument, and this is maybe an argument maybe for the chat here. Who has the better roster, the Outlaws or the High Limit? And I think it's so close. And I give just that little edge to High Limit just because I do think Rico has the potential to be better than Gravel right now. He had just because how good he was. Like when they did race each other, Rico was the guy. Like he was great at Knoxville, he was great at Eldora. Didn't win either one of them. But I mean, man, I don't know.
In my mind, if we talk about those two series and the rosters, Gravel, Rico, Reitzel, Buddy.
Yeah, those are so like they're
Macedo,
awesome, man.
And 3 is Macedo, Tyler Courtney, right?
Yes. Yep.
Then what? They are a lot equal. And when I put Tyler Courtney as 3 over there, Tyler Courtney didn't get a win last year, right? And got hurt.
We're expecting fully healthy Tyler Courtney. We're expecting
right?
2 or 3 years ago Tyler Courtney be on that same level, if not higher than Carson Macedo.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, a little bit of a hot take from me on that side, and I'm not hoping that happens, but I want to see it. Just come right out of the box, the same as you were. And I think everything's going to it'll be great. But I don't know. I just have a vibe, this is a different world for him. It's different than he's been in a long time. He's been doing his own deal. So, and I saw he applied for a truck ride. There's that. He wants to drive a Ram. Did you see that?
Rico?
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah. Back in a truck. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I get David Gravel is the best in the country. Just his consistency is insane. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think this has to be the year. If it's not this year, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to look in the future. You never know what's going to happen. But, I mean, it's just he has all the resources now. If he doesn't take that step up and take hold of that number one spot in the country, then I don't know when he's ever going to have the opportunity to ever do so again. That's just me.
All right. What else are we talking about tonight? What else y'all want?
We have a lot of comments in here. A lot of people Jacob says it's not close, and Rico has a bit better than gravel. If he doesn't have Ricky, I don't know if he'll be very fast. Good luck to him, though. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not just Rico. We're talking about the whole team. We're talking about the whole package, right? And that's kind of what I'm talking about with Rico. Like, do I think if I have to go Rico, Abreu, and David Gravel straight up driver, I don't know who I pick. But in terms of the entire total package, I mean, I don't know what else Rico could have at this point. Danny Dietrich not putting out a schedule this year. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Good.
good.
Listen, this is actually an interesting topic because I guess I don't, as not an avid loyal follower of DD, I don't really care. But if I was a loyal hardcore fan follower, I might want to know just for the travel part. Because if I'm a follower to the point that I'm going to go travel and follow my driver, I'd probably want to know a little bit like, hey, we tentatively have Peevely. We tentatively have this. When it comes to PA, you're gonna know within a day or two of where he's going. You're gonna go. I just and I understand where they're coming from as the team is going. Look, we don't know. We're gonna literally do what we want to do. But it would be hard as some of the loyal fans that do maybe go and travel to where he's going, Ohio Speed Week, reasonably close races that like don't know. Should I take time off work? Should I plan travel? As a guy who does kind of freelance and travel a lot, I think if I was a hardcore fan, I would be a little bit like, damn, bro, are you doing some of those?
But
things?
we
Like,
know how many times that
headed?
changes. It comes up to that weekend. It's like we're either gonna go here, or we're gonna go there.
Well,
And
but
why put
and that's
something out when you're gonna change it on
Yeah.
a weekly basis?
Yeah, and I think that's where they're coming from as a
Mhm.
team and going, we're not committing to anything or anyone. We're going to do what we want to do. And honestly, like the fact that they've ran as many races as they have the last 3 years, I can't believe they haven't done this sooner and just gotten because dude, they got it. You get to the end of the year, they got to be burnt out. Just take some time off, dude. Like you don't have to run 90 races. Like, I appreciate that they do. I think everybody loves that they're just that team just grinds and works their asses off for it. I love that, but I would rather see a happy victory lane winning Danny Dietrich than a 90 race burnout pissed off guy at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like I think we all would, right? We want to see a happy Danny over an angry one. So hopefully that fits what, keeps everybody fresh on that team and performing, where we expect.
Matt Bird's asking if you could change a rule, what would it be? I did see him. He asked another version of this question, and Santos kind of put this in our Discord earlier as well. Kind of like, if you were a promoter for a day, what would you change? And for me, I'm just open the tire rule. Just open it up. That's what I would probably change. Just I would like to see a difference in seeing if it changes the racing at all. We hear a lot of drivers bitch and complain about it. I want to see them put it to the test and see if it does do something better. You know what I mean? That's probably the one thing that I could think of. There's probably other things if I sit here and think about it more as we start talking about it, but that would probably be my thing.
Mine would be there are no more time trials except Speed Week, touring shows. There's no reason the John Gleim Memorial that pays 10 grand at Lincoln should be time trials. There's no reason that the people that are promoting the race pick time trials because they put up some extra money. If you want to do a tune-up race for a touring series coming in, okay. Speed Week and touring shows only. It's either timed hot laps or it's draw or it's handicap. I don't care, but I'm over this weekly show that's special because there's a few extra bucks thrown at it that we're time trialing 27 cars. Stop it. We're wasting everybody's time. I'm over it. That would be me.
I like that. I don't know. I think we've gone so back and forth on the time trial issue here on this show, because the handicapping, obviously, we like it, but does it work? And that's been a question. You know,
It doesn't
does it?
suit all. None of the formats suit.
None of
everything.
it. None of it will. But the format does really affect the way the whole night plays out. I mean, it really sets the tone for everything. Whether you're a or you're a bigger team or a weekend warrior type of team, that format's really going to affect you. So, yeah, I mean, I like the time hot laps. I've come around on the time hot laps. I think it makes hot laps take forever sometimes. But if you can be efficient with it, it's great because I think you're knocking two things out at once.
Yeah, because think about it. You're still getting your time trial.
Yeah, you're still
out
controlling.
there. You're still doing it, but
Yeah.
for the fans, you're doing both at the same time. If that takes a little bit longer, you still net gain in time between. Think about it, Williams Grove, right? Group hot laps, and then we start time trials. When you do the yellow breaches, I think that's the yellow breaches stuff is these timed hot laps. BAPS is timed hot laps. You're only going against your group. You're not at a big disadvantage. You're just against your group. The track state don't matter. And we're knocking it all out together. It's a little bit of a mix of both. The only bad draw you can get is if you drew with the top 5 guys at the track.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Which if you do, the Outlaws are finally taking a page out of the high limit book where they're doing seeded grouping. You could do that at the track too, based off your points, where you're not running into that. Maybe early in the season, obviously, but if you did it based off your points, where you could break your guys out, after 5 or so races, and you do a base, you could seed your groups.
So, it sounds like handicapping time trials now,
right? But
oh,
right, that's not a bad thing for a weekly show. I don't think that's a bad thing.
You're still ranking the guys and basing lineups off of good, better, best.
Yeah, but
let them earn it if they want to.
Yeah,
I know, but luck of the draw is it better to be luck of the draw with a heat or luck of the draw against the whole field and you drew the last pill? I don't know.
Either way, it's the only way to get away from luck, and even then, it's still part of luck because it depends on when you're going to go. Is time trials. It's like just straight time trials. And that's something what Tyler Murray says. Their issue is most drivers want time trials. They don't support handicap shows anymore. Yeah, I mean,
well, they're not.
You don't want to. If you're a fast guy, you don't want to start 9th in a heat race.
I know they did it for years, and they don't run for points titles anymore. That's the change.
Mm-hmm.
They don't run for points titles anymore. Only a few do, really, truly do. And you dealt with it. They dealt with it for years. The superstars of the sport dealt with it for years. Now they just go somewhere else. They have that freedom. But based on car counts, I don't think time trials is necessarily the answer either, because it's not like all the tracks pack every time with the back gate every time there's a time trial show. So just saying it's not the end all. It's not the answer. There's a lot of things going and factoring into what these drivers are picking and choosing. But I generally agree with Tyler. Yeah, they don't love it.
I would like Brandon Zirk says I would like to see the pole shuffle more often. How about you guys? I like it. I think it's one of those things where you don't want to overdo it. Make it for special events. And but I do like it. I think seeing some different things like that can spice some of these shows up. You know what I mean? Something like that, where it's not just a redraw or a dash. You do a pole shuffle, you do like a foot race, like whatever, like do it. That's a way to elevate a special event.
I like this. But again, yeah, I agree. They can overdo it. And Lincoln does this, and it's been pretty good the last couple of years. People dig it. You can hear the crowd cheering, for it. I think it works on short tracks because it's quick. But the one thing that we don't do that I would love to see is a revenge draw on camera.
Yes.
Everyone together. The guys that made the draw. I mean, think about it on a show. Yeah, think about it on a show that the Macri, Dietrich, Dietz, Wagaman, Raymer, all of those guys are all standing there around on camera, and you get to see the reactions and all of it on camera for the whole crowd. Revenge draw.
That okay. There's my other. If I have a magic wand, Make the entire Speed Week revenge draw.
Oh,
that
yes.
would be awesome.
Yep.
That-
No more random pills. Give me revenge.
And there's
draw for
so
all
many
Speed Week
implications
shit.
there because when these guys are battling for that title, it's a shorter title.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Baps did a revenge draw in 2019. We have to go back 7 years to when we've done one. I remember it.
2019 is 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild. 6, 7 or so years ago. I mean, it's time. Who's going to do it? And it can't be on microphone. It's got to have cameras. You got to be able to put on your board.
Yeah.
You got it. It's a show for the fans.
Or be at least in front of the fans, like you know, up in the grandstand somewhere, somewhere where most of the people are going to see you.
Yep.
Jacob says, I like the thing they do with high limit and fastest qualifier, but not the Friday night sets up your Saturday things. Qualifying just gave you some small perks. That'd be cool, but it's just too much about motor with that right now. Trying to... All right, let's break that one down. I like I understand what you're saying, not having your Friday night set up your Saturday. I like that, though, if you're having an event, like a weekend event, having like a Weiker where like maybe a Thursday and Friday set up your Saturday, even though that's not how that Weiker works. But I like that personally. I think, you know, especially with so many series we're going to a track for a whole weekend. I think you can utilize that a little bit more. It would make shows a little bit more efficient at times, and does make both nights mean something. But I understand what you're saying. Some small perks, but it's just too much about motor with that right now.
Yeah, qualifying. I mean, people are building these, 950 horsepower motors for 2 laps a night. That's racing. I've been hearing that for a decade or more, 2 decades. That's racing.
Yeah,
it's racing.
Ampe agrees on the revenge draw for Speed Week. Troy says, we had a midget race in New Zealand. That top qualified car started last, and you chose who started next to you until the whole field was full. Last guy picked who was on the pole.
You chose who? Interesting. So the guy who knew, well, if the top, wouldn't everybody sandbag it? Because what's the prize for being quick time? Starting last? If you know, you can't ever tell them the invert. You can't tell drivers the invert before it happens. Now, we know Speed Week, but there's points for
yeah. There's points for qualifying and heats and everything. That's interesting, though. There's a lot of different things you could do. You don't want to get too in the weeds about it, and you don't want to do overkill things.
Look at that. Daniel Lee, the most recent comment.
Get a petition together, ask Colton to bring back the revenge draw for the $5 night. I think that's a great idea. I'm starting a petition, though. Let's do it for Speed Week. Screw it. That would make Speed Week that would elevate Speed Week, in my opinion.
That would be awesome. And they're all going to be televised. Yep. Everyone's going to get to see it at home and at the racetrack for the most part. Some tracks might not have a board, but the big ones, the Grove doesn't even have a board, do they? No, wait, do they have a board?
Don't.
No, they don't have a video board.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Grove. It's time to get a video board somewhere.
Port Royal doesn't have one either.
No, they really don't, do they?
I'm here for revenge draw. I'm more of that. More revenge draw. Bring it back. Anything else? I think that's about it. Not a lot. Not a ton to talk about. We're hoping for Icebreaker this weekend. Hoping that the weather continues to warm up and we have enough dry out on Friday to maybe try to get us a race in this weekend. We'll see. If not, we got Volusia. I haven't looked at Volusia's weather. Hopefully it's nice there, Sunday and Monday. We will not have a show next Monday. Go ahead and watch Volusia. I'll be traveling for work, so we won't be able to have a show next week. So, and then hopefully when we do come back in 2 weeks or so, we have local racing here to talk about. Maybe multiple, I hope. Daniel Lee says, just out of this needs to be a night again where you give up your starting spot to start in the rear, get $1,500 cash. Some do that. I know Danny did it last year for the duels at Sealands Grove and ended up winning some money. I just don't think you see it a lot with, those are good ones for smaller races. That makes sense. Like smaller pack, smaller group of cars, maybe a bigger disparity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where a guy who's going to go and say, "Hey, I'm going to go instead of starting on the pole, I'm going to go start 10th because I feel pretty confident in myself that I'm going to be able to pass these cars." I just think, especially for like posse series races or especially national tours, like you're not very, if you start further back out of the top 5, you're not very confident you're going to get yourself back up to the win. You know what I mean? It's very hard to pass, especially as this competition gets stronger. So it's hard. I think until they can make passing better with these cars, where we see a little bit movers and some more movers up in the front. Yeah, we see hard chargers. We see guys coming from 22nd to 8th or whatever. But until you see some more movement up in the top 10, I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys really take that option. It would be cool, but I just the competition's so close these days. I think it's hard to do that.
Yeah, I agree. It is tough, and $1,500 isn't enough for somebody to pass up 10 grand to start third, 10
Right.
grand to win starting third to go to 12th and take 15. Not enough of an incentive unless you don't care about winning 10 grand.
Troy was saying you couldn't sandbag. This is talking about that midget race. Couldn't sandbag because you picked who started next to you. So, example, I picked Jay-Z to start next to me, and Jay-Z picks anyone he wants.
Yeah, but I'm already starting last because I qualified first, right? That was the thing. If you qualify a quick time, you're going to last no matter what. So why would you want a quick time?
Yeah.
But someone had to be quick time. Someone has to get quick time. It probably works. I'm probably too stupid.
You guys watched the Arizona race, Justin Peck won. I saw some of the highlights. I was watching it a little bit last night, and then they did track rework, and I ended up falling asleep. I fell asleep pretty early last night.
Justin Peck and ASCS races just seem to be a
yeah.
thing.
And then it was confusing at times because they had 226 cars out there. It looked exactly.
Yeah, and they said the other kid got his first podium, Levi Hilliers, 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely a name to keep an eye on. I've heard that name a couple years now. Definitely a name. Oh, some other news, not dirt track related, but Keelan Harvick signing with Toyota.
Yeah, how about it?
Right?
Yeah, was it late in our chat today? Was like, hey, do you see Keelan in a midget or a micro? No, you won't. He's already like going into super late models on asphalt, like Cars Tour stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see him ever going to dirt now at this point. He's been so disciplined on asphalt.
And I had it typed out, and I forgot to hit send that his dad, Kevin Harvick, he's like, I don't like dirty race cars. That's why he's never raced dirt. I don't like dirt. You don't like dirt. Now, I guess if Keelan gets old enough, he's out on his own. He's traveling country with Toyota. I guess if he has to go to Millbridge one night, he probably could. I mean, maybe, but I don't see that happening. Him being on dirt, his path is NASCAR. I mean, all 100%.
It's talking about other things. Talk about asphalt racing. Tyler Reddick starting off the year, back-to-back wins. Got a feel for Bubba Wallace. He made the wrong choice there. He was control there at the end and just chose to block the wrong line. And Tyler Reddick with no right front fender somehow at a drafting track wins. Just
it's
chaos.
Crazy. Listen to the post-race interviews. I was listening to Chase Briscoe, and he said about his car just didn't have straightaway speed all day. He's like, we could get through the corner. The car handled great, had no straightaway speed. Well, at the end there, Reddick blew by him and somebody that were like bumper to bumper, and he walked Briscoe. Was it Keselowski in third maybe? I forget who was in third, but like it was Reddick got out and gone a few car lengths, and it was Briscoe, and someone drafted with Briscoe, and they just didn't go. Briscoe's car had like no straightaway speed, and it made freaking Reddick look like a shot out of a can with no right front fender. It was just craziest thing ever, the circumstance, the way it fell. But I mean, what a start for Reddick after the way last year went, and then the all-season drama. And, they basically signed him the temporary contracts to get him through last year, not knowing what this year was going to bring. like all the crap and all the stuff he went through personally in his personal life.
I feel like this was
Like,
yeah.
wow.
I feel like this was in the lawsuit settlement. Go and get him 2 wins. You know?
Going just him.
But
not
both
the other
2311 cars, by the way, are leading the points. They're both first and second in the points right now after 2 races. Michael Jordan went
Pretty
back-to-back
awesome.
owner wins. Fans are getting pissed.
Yeah.
This is Brent Zirk. Christopher Knoll. I thought Keelan Harvick was going Chevy/Hendrick.
Whoever pays the most.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Toyota
Daddy's
signed
the
him
agent.
today. Toyota signed him today to a
Dad-
to a contract at 13 years old. How about it?
Dad's the agent. Dad got the money.
Jacob, who makes TRD engines for Buddy?
TRD.
Yeah, but I don't know who the engine builder is because I think there's I don't know. But yeah, it would be TRD.
Duh. I don't know.
NASCAR holding the yellow flags for single car spins and last laps have been surprising. I think it's a great step in the right direction.
It will be until someone's hurt, and then it'll all change.
I think they do. I think if there's contact, like somebody make a contact with something, yeah, they're gonna throw the yellow. They've been pretty good.
Single car,
so
shit.
far.
They held it for more than single car last couple of weeks for sure. But good. We'd rather see racing than not because every time they go to yellow, it's 25 minutes.
Yeah, it takes forever to come out of the stages half the time. Dakota Kuhn, it was Speedway and Ryder for TRD Motors. So
thank you, Dakota.
And Dave Scott Filter says it's Ryder. Thank you, guys. These are the guys.
See, these are the smart people.
Yeah, these are tapped in guys.
These are the smart people.
I'm
surprised we haven't seen more Toyota Motors, to be honest. I don't know.
Same.
Doesn't sound like they're having parts issues. Doesn't sound like they're having issues like the Ford of getting parts or making it work. And Buddy obviously makes it work. So I don't know if they're more expensive. I don't know availability. I mean, somebody in that world would have to, fill me in a little bit, but I'm surprised we just haven't seen more of it. Maybe they're not selling more of it. I don't know. Right. It's just things I don't understand because haven't heard that 83 team having to go to Chevys because they can't get parts or it's not working right or all this other stuff. It's been in the car pretty consistently that I know of. So,
and how available, like, I don't know anything about how it works exactly, but like, can like a local 410 team be like, yeah, I want a TRD engine without paying 5 times as much for a motor?
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know if they're available.
Or can you? Yeah, exactly. Can you even go buy them? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like without being like in some type of deal. So I don't know. Brandon Zirk says soon Michael Jordan will own a 410 team. He already had a Supercross team. I don't know. Michael Jordan.
I mean, Spire's in.
Yeah, Spire's in. You never know. I would love to see more of these owners come over and more owners in the sport for sure. Have no idea what Larson was thinking. I don't think he does either.
No one does. Well, he told us what he was thinking. He didn't see him. He didn't realize he was there. He didn't listen to a spotter.
Yeah.
I think you'd be closer to seeing JGR with a 410 team than you are with Jordan.
Yeah, just especially with Ty Gibbs.
Bell,
Ty Gibbs and Bell,
Briscoe.
But JGR doesn't even want those guys running them. I don't even know how Ty gets away with it half the time.
Well, now I think Briscoe chose to focus on it, right? And Bell focused on Cup. Yeah, Gibbs is like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So he went and did it with CBI. But like, yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. But 2311 doesn't have a ton of ties to that world where like Spire, Dickerson's a huge dirt fan. He's like, I want to be a part of this. Right. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Any of those guys want to come down and get involved in dirt world. It helps the dirt world.
Got some conflicting info. Braden Stage says Roth has an exclusive deal at the current moment, and clearance hasn't been given yet for others to be allowed to purchase, which is what it seems like because we haven't seen Toyota Motors with anybody else. And then Ampe says Yoda Motors should be open to anyone who wants to buy them now that they're out of the development phase. So, but if they have the exclusive, if Roth has the exclusive deal, then it's kind of the same reason why you see NASCAR teams align with certain manufacturers because, and you'll see teams, mid-tier teams kind of bounce around because, man, if I'm instead of being fourth on the totem pole, I could be second on the totem pole if I go to this manufacturer, and I'll get a little more resources, a little more time and attention. Kind of the same deal. Like Roth is getting all the attention with the Toyota 410. I don't know. It's just now you open it up. Does that happen? What do you get?
Yeah,
that's why it's different though. It's not the same as NASCAR, but I'm trying to compare it a little bit.
No, 100%. I mean, you're not really. I mean, the analogy makes sense. It's definitely not the same, but yeah, it makes some sense. And that exclusivity might simply be because we want to leave it here because I can't get you enough parts to make it more. People will be pissed, right? And they'll just leave anyway. So they buy one, break it. I can't get you parts to fix it or get you another one. It's the same shit Ford's going through. So hopefully that eases up soon and they can. I mean, it's better that there's multiple things out there. I think it's better for the sport. I think.
Agree.
But yeah.
Santos even says, yeah, see a lot in the national scene teams having exclusivity with a certain motor. Yeah, I mean, that's you probably get a deal and, again, and especially when you're on that national level, you get a little more time and attention, a little bit more white glove treatment, you would hope, and, you're a little bit higher up on the totem pole as somebody else that is maybe, not bringing as much money, not purchasing as much off of them.
The one thing I want to ask guys in the pits and maybe some of our crew chief / maybe we'll save that question. I'm going to ask it. I don't care. Shocks. This like wave of monkey see, monkey do on shocks. FK was everywhere, and it took over like wildfire. Are we seeing the end of that run? Because I'm seeing some other things here. Last year I saw more other things. CSI, Penske. And guys that are tuned in on that world, is there a shift happening in the shock game in 410 sprint cars? Just curious what people are seeing out there. I've been seeing a little bit of it, but I'm curious what other people think.
Well, that'll be good to talk about when we have our crew roundtable. That'll be our next show, actually, right? That's when we have it scheduled. Not next week, but the week after. We're gonna have some crew members on. We'll just keep an eye out. Some of them been in our chat tonight, and we're gonna have a roundtable with some crew chiefs, some crew guys in the area, and we're gonna just kind of pick their brain about
what I just said. That kind of shit.
That type of stuff right there. Yeah. Predator says, "Congrats on your weed sport quick time in the sim."
It lasted like 2 minutes, brother. Somebody came in and beat it. I think somebody jumped in and beat it.
One more before we go. Jacob says, I think it's good, but at the same time, I think it hurts the racing as a whole. At the end of the day, local guys just won't be able to compete with all the national guys are there, and they will inflate all the prices for parts and motors. Unfortunately, just my opinion. Welcome to racing. That's really what it is. I mean,
it don't get cheaper.
And the faster you want to go, the more you got to pay. It's not for the most part. But yeah, again, we won't be here next week. Thanks everybody again for tuning in tonight. This was a fun show. Kind of left it open, had a couple small topics to talk about. Hoping again, weather holds out and we are able to get to Lincoln this weekend to watch some racing. If not, it'll be here soon enough, and we'll be talking about how tired we are from going to races 2 or 3 times a week. So don't get too upset if they cancel. They have a lot to deal with right now, especially after all the snow that we got. So if not, there's going to be racing elsewhere to watch. You got Outlaws this week. You got High Limit coming back next week. It really starts to roll here in March. Again, we won't be here next week, but we'll be back the week after, 2 Mondays from now, with their crew member roundtable. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and have a great week.